All right, that makes it Friday night. Welcome to Cop Talk Live. This is On Patrol, and we're just going to... It's Friday. Welcome. You guys made it through the week, and it's just been an exciting... I don't even know how to... Profound week for law enforcement. If you look at it. Guys, number one, let's get some house cleaning done. We do this every Friday night live, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central, 6 Mountain, 5 Pacific. Phones are open, 708-982-0974. If you're watching on any of the platforms that we do stream on live, there's a number on there. You can call in. And we talk about law enforcement content. This is a pro law enforcement channel, podcast, all that stuff. But it doesn't mean that I'm pro cop. It means that you guys need to get your shit together. It is what it is. I've never been so fucking attacked before by conservative police supporters as this whole ICE thing has been going on. So we'll talk about that a little bit today. Because again, I guess Tom Homan came in and he's, I respect him. You know, he's clearly know the job he's doing, and hopefully he'll clean up the shit in Minneapolis and anywhere else he's going, but it is what it is. Housekeeping. It's our website, coptalklive.org, coptalklive.org. When you go there and you click on the website, a window will pop up. It simply says, enter your email address. You will be notified of new articles. We get between 3 to 5 articles a week. You're not going to get spammed with anything. And that's just very basic information about content that we put out that we want you to make informed decision over as well, too. And as always, if you support this channel, you got to support the other channels, right? Copville OG with Mike, you got to make sure you do that. I join him on Wednesdays for a hot topic when we have conversations. Sometimes I go sideways like every damn time that I'm on. And the Anti-Hero broadcast. Make sure you wind up checking those guys out as well, too. I'm with them Thursday mornings for a short while as well, too. So Copville OG and Anti-Hero, that's it. I want to get this out of the way. I don't necessarily know if it's how I feel about it being law enforcement related. Hang on, let me see in the chat really quick. Let me see. God, this is why I need glasses. Well, I wear glasses there. Rachel, how are you? Hellraiser's fine. Tater Salad, let's go. Let's go you, man. Stephen Ritchie, good afternoon. Where are you from, dude? Well, I guess, no, it's only 3 o'clock on the West Coast. No, 4 o'clock on the West Coast. Shit. No, 5 o'clock on the West Coast. I can't get my fucking times right, dude. Terry Max, Las Vegas watching. Hope you're having better weather than we out here. The Ryan Bowen, how are you? Everyday Joe, what's up? And what is that? Glutenalmyalgia? Yeah, we're good. Okay. Listen, simply because this is a law enforcement channel, and theoretically, this 100% could affect the state of law and order in America. I'm going to cover this topic. I don't do this content anymore. You know, against my better judgment, how can we talk about anything else? And I'm not going to report it. So I went to, and I got it set up. I went to Sky News simply because I saw that Sky News tries to remain in the middle. It's not Fox. It's not CNN. It's not American. I think they're British. So you have a spot of tea as you shoot your spunko rover, baby, right? That kind of shit. All I care about is getting the information out. You make the decision. But to be honest, I don't expect anything from this. And we're just going to listen to information that is put out there. That's it. The only connection, like I said, is this can affect the state of law enforcement in America, because the government's always trying to screw us up with shit anyway. So let's just listen, and grain of salt, people, grain of salt.
Let's go straight to Washington for the latest on the big developing story tonight, the release of millions more Epstein files. Our US correspondent James Matthews is looking through the documents for us. And James, what have you uncovered so far?
Yeah, hi Gillian, quite a bit to go through, more than 3 million pages, 2,000 plus videos, and in terms of the number of images, more than 180,000. This was publication day by the Department of Justice, belatedly, of course. They all should have been out 6 weeks ago by law, but...
and what's been happening over the last 6 weeks? this insane ICE debacle, I don't trust anything anymore. And when I put this up on my personal social media, I had people commenting, well, this was investigated 6 months ago and the government said that it's debunked. Do you really believe anything the government's telling you anymore? Like, I believe shit I can see. Like when you see somebody who has been shot by somebody who's supposed to be law enforcement in our federal government, and you see that it's a bad shooting. I believe in that kind of shit. I mean, not that I support it, but I believe that happens, right? I believe my own eyes. Not that I do anymore either, because AI, holy shit, and shove me in it. AI is increasingly, convincingly astonishing lately.
There's a lot in there. We have...
Oh, and also a 3 million page dump and 180,000 images. It's like if you've ever seen, what was it, Suits, and Mike Ross is going through some case, and the law firm he's going against says, okay, here's Discovery, and sends him an entire storage room of boxes to look for one sheet of paper. Okay, how are you going to do it? No idea.
Lifted some of the detail, and there are some familiar faces in there. Prince Andrew, or the man formerly known as Prince Andrew, gets a mention. So does Lord Peter Mandelson. Let me read you, Gillian, a few email exchanges. First of all, between Prince Andrew and Jeffrey Epstein. Interesting for a number of reasons, one of which is the ease of access that Jeffrey Epstein...
Yep, let's just clear this up right now. Neva 2013 over in the chat says, it must be time for distraction. Yeah, we're either going to bomb Iran tomorrow or there's going to be another ICE shooting. That's all this is. Don't expect anything ever to happen from this. At this point, it's entertainment only. Do I believe that there are like pedophile rings in America of elitists? 100%. I do. When you have that much power and that much money, you are so desensitized. You just are. It's the same thing. Like if you really want to talk about law enforcement and cops and why cops are such like sexual deviants, because the thrill. It's like you get a dopamine, not hit, right? But almost like we're desensitized. So it's like, why are cops X, Y, and Z? It's because that shit. So put that on an elite level of where you have the country's the world's most powerful. Literally, do you think that if you're Trump or the Clintons, like, tell me a movie that's going to entertain you, a car that you could buy that's going to thrill you, a steak dinner that you haven't had before, a fanciest hotel, one spot in the world you haven't vacationed where the view has now become meh. You have to get your thrills and gratifications through some extreme ways. It's just something that these people absolutely do.
Epstein appear to have to Buckingham Palace. Let's go through just some of the emails. On the 11th of August in 2010, Epstein sent an email to former Prince Andrew, and he said this: I have a friend who I think you might enjoy having dinner with. She'll be in London 20 to 24. And Andrew replied, of course, I'm in Geneva until morning of 22nd, but would be delighted to see her. Will she be bringing a message from you? Please give her my contact details to get in touch. He also wrote, great, any other information you might know about her that might be useful to know? Like, what have you told her about me? And have you given her my email as well? Epstein replied, she's 26, Russian, clever, beautiful, trustworthy, and yes, she has your email. Andrew replied, that was quick. How are you? Good to be free? And Epstein says, great to be free of many things. Now, Gillian, let me read you an email, and this is from Sarah Ferguson. Clearly, Epstein was a friend of the family. Sarah Ferguson, Andrew's ex-wife, of course. She wrote a letter, said this: thank you so much, Jeffrey. I had the best discussion with Target on Friday, and they want desperately the whole Mother's Army project. They also want to get behind my entire Sarah Ferguson brand, books, etc. Tommy Hilfiger wants to build my entire apparel, fragrance, etc. brand and sell it on QVC. NBC wants...
Okay, again, I'm glad he's doing this because it's like, well, what does this have to do with anything? Again, I'm going to let this play so that we have a seemingly middle-of-the-road news agency that's not tied to America, as far as I can tell, Sky News, that's reporting on this, and get this out of the way. I mean, it's not content that I enjoy covering anymore, but, I mean, for the love of God, if the world is going to start crumbling, you need to know why. And then, two, what you need to know why, and to be honest, when I talked about this over the last couple of days, is increasingly unnerving is the amount of Republican conservatives who are condemning people for Second Amendment application. And are we going to see in the next 2 years literally a ramping up of firearm confiscation by law enforcement? And can you trust your cops? I don't think we can, to be honest. I think we've seen that when it comes down to any type of riot, they will stand down. They'll let your cities burn. We've seen that numerous times. And when it comes down to any government mandate and it comes to them, honoring their oath of their paycheck, they're going to honor their paycheck. So Pam Bondi also just did some kind of mental health gun issue. I didn't look it up. I just watched a brief interview or a press conference with her and Trump. It's just like an extended red flag law, which Trump here's nodding to. Yeah, you get out of you're committed for 72 hours, but you're released in 24. Police can go and take your guns. I mean, out of the ordinary. We've done that. Safekeeping. And let me tell you something. If you ever get your firearm seized by your local police department, good luck getting it back. It's like you could have the cops seize it for domestic purposes. Well, we got to seize your guns for safekeeping. It'll be a year before you get those firearms back. It's insanely difficult to try and get. We had a cop that I worked with who was involved with the lawsuit that I was in. We told him after he got, he kind of won the lawsuit, don't go back to work. He went back to work. They set him up for something else. His guns were taken. It was insane for him to try to get his firearms back. As far as I know, he's still working there like a goof, and he shouldn't be. It is what it is. But when it comes down to, your Gestapo on the street, it's going to be law enforcement. We have not seen them stand up and say, well, yeah, we swore an oath to the Constitution and not to, the politicians. It's Matty Wack says it best. If it weren't for police, politicians would just be a bunch of dead guys. It's as simple as that. And he's right.
My Mother's Army TV show. Ben Silverman wants it. So too does Ryan Seacrest. In just 1 week after your lunch, it seems the energy has lifted. I have never been more touched, she says, by a friend's kindness than your compliment to me in front of my girls. And she finishes, thank you, Jeffrey, for being the brother I have always wished for. Lord Mandelson, remember their association, nothing new in the fact that they had a friendship. Mandelson, a visitor to his island, of course, and also a contributor to that notorious Jeffrey Epstein birthday book. Well, there are more email discussions taking place between Mandelson and Epstein. Let me read you one or two. Jeffrey Epstein wrote to his accountant, send $2,000 per month to Ronaldo. Now, Ronaldo, it was the...
I'm not going to lie, I'm going to skip ahead because it's pretty fucking boring. And what is anybody going to do about this shit? So I want to hear something, and then I will go over the highlighted information that I've seen on 2 different news media places that apparently were taken off of and removed from the government website.
Then sending is US dollars.
Okay.
Will this occur on the 1st of every month? And his accountant, and that essentially was Epstein channeling money to the then partner of Lord Mandelson, mentioned
okay.
Gillian.
I guess it's all British shit. That's great. Let's keep going.
That subject matter. They say this production may include fake or falsely submitted images, documents or videos, as everything that was sent to the FBI by the public was included in the production that is responsive to the Act. Some of the documents contain untrue and sensationalist claims against President Trump that were submitted to the FBI right before the 2020 election. To be clear.
All right, so let's go. I will read this, and this is if you're an adult and whatever, be forewarned. You got kids, you don't want to hear this stuff. It is what it is. I will read what I reposted to my social media, and you can consume it, whether or not you choose to believe it. And remember, everything is an accusation. It's literally an accusation. That's all it is. And this I reshared from Midas Touch, and they had stated that apparently this was also removed from the Department of Justice website. And it's an accusation. That's all it is. So I'm going to put this out there. I'm not confirming. I can't confirm or shit. Notable names of this are Donald Trump and Jesse Epstein. Redacted reported an unidentified female who was forced to perform oral sex on President Trump approximately 35 years ago in NJ, could be New Jersey. The friend told Alexis that she was approximately 13 or 14 years old at the time, when this occurred, and the friend allegedly bit President Trump while performing oral sex. The friend was allegedly hit in the face after she laughed about biting President Trump. The friend said she was also abused by Epstein. And another highlighted incident. At age 16, while modeling, caller attended 8 parties at Epstein's New York residence. On one occasion, the caller reported she was sexually assaulted by Epstein. On another occasion, twin brothers Alan and Orrin lured the caller and her friend upstairs, but they escaped back downstairs. Caller stated Orrin raped best friend and a third brother, Tao, raped 14-year-old girl named Redacted. Caller named other individuals involved in, quote, big orgy parties with her, other young girls, and older Victoria's Secret models, including Bill Clinton and Donald Trump. Online complaint reported that she was a victim and witnessed to sex trafficking ring at the Trump golf course in Rancho Palos Verdes, California, between 1995 and 1996. Complainant reported that Ghislaine Maxwell, as the madam and broker for sex parties, clients who included Epstein, Robin Leach. Oh my God, Robin Leach, Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. You guys are way too young for that show. Holy shit, man. Donald Trump, complainant reported participating in orgies and that some girls went missing, rumored to have been murdered and bullied or buried at the facility. Complainant reported being threatened by Trump's then head of security that if she ever talked about what went on there or who she saw, would end up, quote, end up as fertilizer for the back 9 holes like the other cunts. Complainant claims to have videos of high-profile sex parties dealing with cartels and having witnessed Robin Leach strangle a young girl to death at a party. Again, and you could read these. Here's some more. It is what it is. Complainant, as I enlarge this from my eyes. Complainant reported his ex-girlfriend Redacted were victims of Epstein's. One was murdered while working as a limousine driver. Complainant recalled picking up Donald Trump in 1995 to take him to Dallas-Fort Worth's airport. During that ride, complainant recalled some of the things that Trump spoke about on his cell phone were very concerning, describing being, quote, a few seconds from pulling the limousine over on the median within a few seconds of him pulling out of the car and hurting him, doing some things he was saying. Complainant noted that Trump repeatedly stated the name Jeffrey while on the phone. One of complainant's ex-girlfriends, Redacted, told Trump raped her, as Epstein did as well. Callers talking about crimes committed against her. She claims to be a prisoner. She references Lisa Marie Presley, British royal family, President Trump and Epstein. Another highlighted one states that complainant followed up with NYPD officer regarding her previous tip, reporting that she was forced to perform oral sex acts when she was 13 years old and pregnant in 1984. Complainant also reported that there were high-profile individuals who were involved in her sex trafficking and the murder and disposal of her newborn daughter. Complainant reported that Donald Trump participated regularly in paying money to force her to perform sex acts on him, and allegedly was present with her uncle while being murdered a newborn child. You know, one of the easiest way to discredit many of these claims is how outrageous they sound. And you'll see it. You see so many people who just, no, that would never happen. Why? When it comes down to like Hollywood cinema and the content they create, and it's so outlandish. Is it art that's imitating life or life that's imitating art? Which is it? So, I mean, I don't put anything past anybody anymore. So, caller was taken by a boat to Epstein Island. Caller said it was complicated and involved Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. Caller later became a school counselor. And if anybody's ever seen, all you have to do is go online and Google Ghislaine Maxwell's father. And you could see, I believe, he was an agent for a foreign government. And he's got pictures of him with Mother Teresa. And that was another big conspiracy theory of Mother Teresa being part of obtaining children from all the poor that she wound up being charitable with and all that. Linda Kitts and a police officer were, the caller was informed there was a picture of herself with Epstein. Caller reported the school was mad at her for not being a Trump person, and that school wanted her to testify and say things against Andrew Cuomo. The FBI and Donald Trump were on the phone during the meeting. Caller believes the FBI has baby pictures of her with Epstein. Caller reports in 1987 a friend, victim one, was out drinking and ended up at Trump Plaza. Victim one said Donald Trump wanted to meet him. An unknown man approached her and the vehicle to introduce Trump. The unknown man gave victim one a drink, and victim one woke up naked and sore with $300 in the bed. Victim one didn't remember how she got into the room. Said you remember seeing a flash of Trump's face. Victim one called the caller and told her she thought she had been raped. Victim one did not go to the hospital and didn't have a rape kit performed because she didn't think anybody would believe her, especially since she was drunk. Victim one's husband's business had problems with suppliers, and victim one believed Trump was behind it. Victim one also started dating a lawyer, identified as unknown, who was married. Victim one had a fight with her lawyer boyfriend, went to a bar. Victim one left the bar with a man who no one in the bar recognized, seemed to be familiar with victim one. Victim one was never seen again. A few years later, remains were discovered that matched the description of what victim one was married or was wearing. And when she went missing, DNA tests were found to be inconclusive. The bottom line, it's a salacious story that cannot be confirmed. You can't put toothpaste back on the tube, but it's a topic everyone's talking about. So we are entertaining this simply for entertainment purposes only, because it's Friday night and the ICE thing is going to be overshadowed by this because it was just dumped today. And I'm giving you guys, the entertainment you want. Donald Trump, the president, had parties at Mar-a-Lago called Calendar Girls. Jeffrey Epstein would bring in the children, and Trump would auction them off. He measured the children's vulva and vaginas by entering a finger to rating the tightness. The guests were elder men, including Elon Musk, Donald Trump Jr., Ivanka Trump. Eric Trump was also there. Attorney Alan Dershowitz was also there with attorney Bob Shapiro. Were taken into rooms, forced to give oral sex to Donald Trump, and forced to allow them to penetrate us. I was 13 years old when Donald Trump raped me. Ghislaine Maxwell was also present as well, too. Lifestyles of the kinky and uber rich who can do whatever the fuck they want. It is what it is. 708-982-0974, 708-982-0974. I don't think there's anything else of this.
The claims are unfounded and false, and if they have a shred of credibility, they certainly would have been weaponized against President Trump already. So basically,
let me tell you something.
Somebody's phoned up this FBI tip line.
Let me explain something why it wasn't. Both sides are a part of everything. And to be honest, okay, Biden's administration had this. So what? Biden administration releases it, and it's going to be implicating Biden. Trump's administration at least releases it because Trump's not on it. It's going to indicate Trump in several. You don't rub elbows without getting some fucking smegma on you. You just don't. These people were all connected back then. One of my idols as a kid was George Carlin, and some of you have seen his clips a lot lately and didn't understand the brilliant man he was. He started with stand-up comedy in the 60s, ragging on Catholics and whatnot. And then when he got older, he became an increasingly angry angry man who didn't do stand-up comedy. He just did spoken truths. And his most famous line, man, it's a big club and you ain't in it. I've said it a million times. If Carlin were alive today, right? If George Carlin were alive today, he would charge $10,000 per ticket, right? He would do one night only. Venue would be, he would find a venue that had like 90,000 seats. He would go to, like, I don't know, Madison Square Garden, and he would center stage, right? And you would pay 10 grand, even at the nosebleeds, right? And you would go in and it would be, ladies and gentlemen, well, please welcome George Carlin. And the room would go fucking insane. You would hear, hang on, it would be this. I got to find the right track for this. Where is my shit? Do I have it? Yeah. It would be this. And when the applause dies down, I told you so. Good night. And that would be it. You'd pay $10,000 to listen to that man say, I told you so. And that would be it. That's all it is. So you can't have one party and release it, because you know damn well that they're all included. So stop acting like they aren't.
Said something about Donald Trump. They're saying be very careful, because there was a lot of false and sensationalist stuff that was put onto this tip line.
All right, so if I
and James,
also,
what does the
if I'm going to put a shred of doubt, okay, and I have 1,000 accusations, I am going to make 10 up. So I'm going to release 1,000 accusations to the public. Trump did this, Trump did that, blah, blah, blah. And I'm going to include 10 knowingly manufactured accusations. I'm going to find some girl who needs money, and I'm going to say, listen, I want you to go and I want you to lie. And I'm going to tell you what you're going to say, and we're going to pay you 10 grand to say it, because you're desperate. You need money. And she's going to do it. And I'm going to say, you ever say we had this meeting, I will fucking kill you, your kids, your dog, your mother is going to make you, I'm going to make her watch all of it. And then what we're going to do with you is we're going to stick you in the fucking nut house for the rest of your life. Go ahead, say something. I triple dog dare you. And then after she says something, I'm going to prove, oh, this woman's crazy. I'm going to completely turn on her, and I'm going to make her go crazy. No, she's a fucking liar. We've proved it, all this shit. So all you need is 1,000 accusations and like 10 false ones. And then that puts enough doubt on the other 1,000 that are legitimate.
The release of all of these documents actually mean? What are the implications?
That will depend, frankly, Gillian, on the subject matter, and it's going to take days for all of us to wade through it. I suppose chief among the questions is who's in Jeffrey Epstein's orbit? What was their association? Is there any suggestion that they are associated with criminal wrongdoing actively, or just by enabling him, perhaps through their silence? And that will be a question for many people. It will be a question for the president, Donald Trump, a former good friend.
Yeah, but if you know anything about the Trump model, Trump was schooled by Roy Cohn. And so I'm going to say this, and it sucks. I admire Roy Cohn. If you've ever seen the interview, there's two people that actually, believe it or not, and I'm going to qualify this, so shut your fucking mouths for a second. I'm a Roger Stone fan, and I am a Roy Cohn fan, because if you actually look at legitimacy of how to fucking win, those two men are ruthless, and they know how to do it. And they both worked alongside each other back, I believe, in the 70s as well, too. If you watch the documentary, Get Me Roger Stone, and there's another one on Roy Cohn as well, too. These men were they're the best at doing what needs to be done to win. And one of Roy Cohen's methodologies was never admit a loss. So it was attack. It was his first one. He'd never go on defense. I can't recall what the second one was, but the third one is never admit a loss. So when Donald Trump would lose cases or lawsuits or whatnot, he always admitted it was a victory. It's the same thing. You never acknowledge a loss. You deny everything. So deny, that was it. It was attack, deny everything. and always admit a victory. So you look at that, if that is all, because Trump, if Trump ever, his whole house of cards falls, if he ever admits anything. Hey, there's a video of you jaywalking in 1989 against traffic and causing an accident to get a morning cup of coffee. And here's video of it. That wasn't me. Even if it's like, this is literally fucking you, it's not me. It is what it is. All it takes is for one acknowledgement of wrongdoing and everything becomes undone because you start to pepper in doubt and questions. So nothing is ever going to be done of this because the tactics is holding fast to the lie. This is why it's superb. The longer you hold on to a lie, the more difficult it becomes to keep it like true, if you will. But and that's why I always fucking tell the truth about everything, because I don't have that kind of sustainability power. These people, holy shit, they do.
End of Jeffrey Epstein, remember, they fell out in the LA naughties. But it will be a question, what was their association? Did he know about Jeffrey Epstein's criminal impropriety, and to what extent might he have been engaged in it? Why didn't he do anything about it? These are questions. I would emphasize that Donald Trump, the president, emphatically denies any knowledge of Epstein's criminal wrongdoing or any involvement in it.
James, thank you very much for the moment. Well, let's bring in Susie and Madeline now for their thoughts. 3 million pages of the Epstein files released today. Your thoughts?
Absolutely classic media move to do it on a Friday afternoon. And also another classic move. At the same time, Donald Trump went on his Truth Social and declared some other random stuff about Barack Obama, which everyone had long forgotten about, to do with the alleged Russia hoax. He said now he wants Barack Obama arrested for something else entirely. But it doesn't matter how many dead cats he's going to start throwing out. I think this stuff is still going to take precedence no matter what. I think even Barack Obama is going to go, yeah, Donald, whatever, and just be reading the stuff they can find online. So this is just going to, like James was saying, over the next few days, journalists start going through this and they start finding deeper and deeper stuff in there. It's just going to snowball.
Madeline, what is the significance? I mean, would you describe this as a bombshell?
I like over in the chat, you guys are talking about the DOJ is already removing stuff from the website. 100% they are. And then how somebody says it's unconstitutional. Yeah. Do you think that's going to stop them? Do you legitimately think that's going to stop them? The problem is, and where this ties in, right, is any outrage. I am so blown out of the water by people who legitimately are willing to give up, conservatives, Republicans, are willing to sacrifice freedom of speech. You heard the guy last week who called in, who literally said that he would suspend giving his freedom of, I don't have to identify, here it is, if ICE wanted to, just to help keep America safe from the illegals. And then it's the Second Amendment. And then what are you going to do about it? See, they know you're not going to do a damn thing about it. And I'm not endorsing shit. And I'm going to tell you something too. Mark my words. Listen to Uncle Izzo for a second. This is their next thing. And they're going to come up with this. The Second Amendment talks about the right to keep and bear arms. Keep and bear. That means you can own them and you can display them. You can go out and protest. You can have one in your hand and display it in a posturing position of a threatening manner to make sure the government knows not to trifle with you. But I could not find one word in that very, very small, short, definitive amendment, Second Amendment right, that says you can use them. Wait until the brainwashed blue check marks like Gunther Eagleman and everybody else who's a MAGA loyalist, who's bought and paid for, by even Kyle Rittenhouse. Wait until they come up and say, yeah, it doesn't say anything about you being able to use them. You can keep them, you can own them. But when it comes to the government, you're right. We need a national inventory on our firearms to keep us safe. We're seeing a very, very weird time in history that I didn't think would ever unfold this way.
Well, it's kind of too early to say, but just from what we've been able to see, even in the last couple of hours since it landed, potentially very explosive and involving many different, highly significant, influential people around the world. I imagine there'll be a lot of very powerful people will be squirming tonight and wonder what else may be found, but it will obviously take some time to go through it. here in Britain, we're a little bit behind the news cycle because we will have gone to press with only a couple of hours because we're dealing with America time. So that makes it even more difficult. But I think that, just from what we heard, what I find almost more alarming than the content is simply the tone of some of these emails, an atmosphere of normalised secrecy, coziness. And you can kind of tell from the tone of the emails between Andrew Mountbatten Windsor and Epstein that this feels like quite a normal thing, a kind of routine occurrence, like this has happened before. So I just kind of, I expect that we are really just scratching the surface at this point.
Just to say that...
yeah, we're live. What's going on?
Hey, Dominic, how are you doing? It's
Nathan, what do you think these files are real?
I mean, they blacked out the one. I watched the video where it was all blacked out, and I'm like, why release them? You know what I mean?
Did you ever watch The Simpsons?
Have I ever watched The Simpsons?
Mm-hmm.
No, but I've seen a couple episodes.
There's a part. There's you know who Homer Simpson is?
Yeah, I know who Homer Simpson is.
Homer Simpson's kind of a goofball. He's aloof. He's not exactly intelligent. He somehow finds his way on the board of directors for the company he works at. I think it's like Nuclear Sludge and shit like that. And there's Mr. Burns is the head of the company. He's
the plant.
Right. And in one episode, they're talking about how to increase productivity to get more of their like nuclear waste or whatever. And Homer has an idea. He raises his hand. He talks about the fact on Fridays when they serve fish sticks that they only get this little container of tartar sauce, for the fish sticks. And clearly Smithers says, this is stupid. What about, and Burns says, shut up, Smithers. And he listens to this and that's if that's going to keep the fucking workers happy, an additional 5 cents worth of tartar sauce, let the fools have their tartar sauce. That's what they're throwing this shit out there. So you fools will have your, and then your favorite blue check mark, your, what's his fucking name? David Jerry Harris Jr. is going to debunk this. No, don't believe anything Donald Trump says. It's a game. It's just a fucking game.
Right. Yeah. It's crazy, man. I tell you what, it's a crazy world we live in. And, it's like I said, a crazy world. I'm just,
you know what, Nathan? Neither one of us are getting out alive, brother. That's all I know.
Right. But, I was calling in to kind of say hi and, ask you how are you doing, and I know it's still cold because I wish this shit could just fucking go away.
Well, you know what, Nathan, I'm gonna go out in a Speedo, go outside and ruin everybody's February. So I appreciate the call, Nathan, man. Thanks.
Will do. You keep you stay you, man. You keep doing your stuff, and you keep my brain's fried right now. Sorry.
Yeah, but, Nathan, I don't know how to do anything else. All I know how to do is piss people off and make bread. That's it.
All right.
All right, later, brother. Bye.
All right.
Bye.
All right.
All right, 708-982-0974. Finish listening to this.
Andrew Mountbatten Windsor is quoted as saying, I vigorously deny the accusations against me, and just because people are unnamed in these communications, in these emails, it doesn't imply guilt or any wrongdoing.
But what you can see, aside from any allegations made against Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, that phrase when he said to Jeffrey Epstein, is it good to be free? That's enough. You don't need to have any allegations, proved or otherwise, against the former Prince Andrew to know that means he knows he's talking to a convicted criminal. He knows he was convicted for soliciting a minor for prostitution.
I don't know. It's just information that I'm not privy to. I can't make an assumption on shit. I'm not going to make an assumption on shit, and I don't think anything's going to happen. We see this every 6 months, sometimes much shorter time span than that, of a big dump of delivery of information for something that's going to distract us for something else. And by now, it's you have two things that distract America. It's wars and school shootings, and now it's ICE agents and shit like that. And it's always, what are they doing behind the scenes? I said a million times, I love my country. I fucking hate my government. I absolutely hate them. 708-982-0974, 708-982-0974. I want to talk about this really quickly because many of you have sent me this posting from Roanoke Rapids Police Department. And before I react to it, and I did comment on this based solely off of the picture of this officer. This is a new officer. We do not have standards for law enforcement anymore. We just don't. And I think it's dangerous putting people in a position to safeguard others' lives, serve them, and keep the peace. And one of the bigger components when it comes to law enforcement is the concept of who is showing up to your door to do the job that you trust will be done right. We've seen in the last couple of days, Pretty, whatever his name was, people are circulating the video of Pretty several days prior kicking an ICE agent vehicle, and they're all of a sudden, well, see, this automatically proves that he deserved to be shot. And it's the same connection to George Floyd, how the entire nation, when we first saw the videos and images of George Floyd, everyone condemned Derek Chauvin. But then you fast forward a year from the date and his criminal history was released. So because George Floyd held a gun to a pregnant woman's stomach some significant time before that incident happened, that clearly means George Floyd deserved to die. That's how society works, right? But the one thing that we never look at is whenever that uniform is put on a cop, it shields them. It doesn't matter what that cop did or does. That cop could be an alcoholic in their off time. That could be somebody who neglects child payments. It could be somebody who beats his fucking dog. Somebody who is dating 3 women on the side and not telling anybody about him, so it shows his character. Somebody who speeds, breaks every traffic law known to man. It doesn't matter when that blue uniform goes on there. The public seems to be completely blinded, like they live sunglasses, as to the character of the police officer. So we'll look at Pretty and say a week prior to the cop shooting him, or the ICE or the border agent shooting him, his actions clearly did X, Y, and Z, but we don't look into ever. We will not look into the character of Ross or the unknown officers who shot Pretty. And we're not going to look into Ross's background. We're not going to look into his character. It already went out there, right? He's a married man. He's a devout Christian. Blah, blah, blah. Let's really dig into him. Let's look at what he spends his money on. Right? We never, ever, ever look at cops and vilify them unless it's to serve an agenda by distracting what other cops are doing, like G.I. Joe, Glenwood's case. Then you vilify the shit out of somebody and do that. When I looked at this, again, this man, and I'm going solely based off of looks on an issue. This is a very skinny man with gauge earrings and a very unbecoming haircut. And I'm not one for style, right? I wear giant fucking hoops in my ears, and but I didn't wear them when I was a cop. I've had my ears pierced since I was 21, and my hair is nothing to talk about. Begrudgingly enough, if this guy showed up, I'd be like, what the fuck? Whatever. But again, I want to go back into this because I want to give this a benefit of the doubt. There was a statement that was released by Chief Wiggins concerning social media discourse on a post of the newest appointment officer. And I want to read this, and I want to give this the credit that it deserves in case I am wrong. This is a statement on the appointee by Officer Brandon Holcomb. On January 28th, 2026, Officer Brandon Holcomb was sworn in with the Roanoke Rapids Police Department. This was a proud moment in the life of a young man who has overcome countless personal obstacles to earn that moment. I personally observed Officer Holcomb and his ability to deal with adversity and uncertainty. This achievement is a celebration of a young man from Roanoke Rapids stepping in to serve the community where he was raised. I have full confidence in, or faith and confidence in his ability to learn, adapt, problem solve, and be successful in his career with Roanoke Rapids Police Department. This occasion though a celebration, is a stark reminder of the times which we live in, a time where the exercise of constitutional rights, especially the First Amendment, is often devoid of self-respect and dignity. Many negative comments have surfaced on Officer Holcomb's appearance, while true discourse regarding the law enforcement decisions, procedures, or arrests is worth having. Holding that standard in juxtaposition to the personal attacks is the clear conclusion. To engage in such comments would be an exercise in intellectual debasement. I'm aware that many of these comments come from people who do not live in Roanoke Rapids. Mine was one of them. Interesting, the loudest negative voices are often the same ones screaming for assistance and demanding more is less from law enforcement. Please keep in mind that when you take to social media to attack the appearance of someone who may be the very person who saves your life, should you feel you possess the skills and fitness required for this profession, feel if you apply at this link we are hiring. I don't think that man who exercised the fitness. However, keep in mind the physical attributes are utilized in less than a quarter of the law enforcement encounters. I encourage you to continue engaging on us with social media due to solely responsibilities. That is the only way we grow as a community. Officer Holcomb, welcome to our PDA family. I want to know his background. I want to know what issues this man had to overcome. I want to know, was it drug abuse? Does he have a criminal history past? Has he been arrested? Now here's the deal. All those things could line up for somebody who I believe in the rehabilitation process, right? Meaning corrections. And I have seen far more criminals that I trust than cops. They're just, yeah, I did this. Yeah, they own up to their shit. So that's why I wanted to present this tonight, because a lot of you threw this to me to look at, and this clearly looks like a man with a past. If that's the case, I believe that if you want true transparency, I think that his past should come out, because if he shows drug past, criminal past, I think acknowledging those and the decision that Roanoke Rapids Police Department made to hire him shows one of two things. Either they're scraping the bottom of the barrel and they got to fucking take anybody they could take, and they're like, shit, we got to triple down now and defend this motherfucker, or he is somebody who should be looked at, highlighted, interviewed, and said, explain your past and how that brings you to the table to course correcting the profession. I'm all for it. I want to give this guy an opportunity to state his case, because maybe he is what we need. Appearance-wise, I'm the first one that went, damn. You know, he's a string bean. Stiff wind could blow him over. But I also know that there's two schools on this. People don't change. So I'm torn. But at the same time, too, I know that uniform does not devoid you of the fucking scumbag you are, because you've never been arrested before. And there's some real shitty-ass cops out there who are self-righteous, who've never gotten any trouble. I want somebody who knows their community inside and out and can state that their past has had a profound impact on what their future is going to be. So I'm going to go against the grain on this one and say, if they hired him, it's only one of two things. They're backtracking like motherfuckers right now because they see, shit, we got to cover this up. Or if he has I'm hoping that he does have a drug and criminal history background, that they could say this can be put to use in our community. He has gone through the correction systems. He is rehabilitated. I believe every right and responsibility if you've served your time. And this is pure speculation. I know nothing about this man. I'm solely going off of his appearance and judgment. He looks like a heroin addict. He looks like somebody who's had drug issues in the past. That's what he looks like. And I'm categorizing them completely on his appearance. And I could be completely fucking wrong. I would like to know what his past was and what his adversities are, because as somebody like that who can overcome them to raise the level of the standard we need is great. But did you lower the standards to meet him? And is his mindset when he goes to a house where discernment is required, can he discern, or is he going to punish? I mean, I guess the biggest example I can give is like Jimmy from Yellowstone. That fucking drug addict, heroin addict, but he turned out to be one of the best characters of integrity. I believe in that shit. I really do. So I'm hoping Officer Holcomb, if he does have any type of past, can bring to the forefront. And I will extend the opportunity to give him a platform to interview him on so that the nation can hear him out, because maybe he's exactly what the profession needs. And I'm not going to condemn, even though I'm infamous for it, until I have all the information. So if Roanoke Rapids Police Department is going to triple down on it, then I will afford you the opportunity to go. You could use my platform. I would love to interview both the chief for his decision to hire him and Officer Holcomb for his decision to become a police officer, and what path that he had to overcome to do so, and how that will apply to the betterment of not only the people of Roanoke Rapids Police Department, but the profession itself. So maybe in some way, Officer Holcomb could become the future of law enforcement, and I will. Oh man, I'll fucking go to bat for that if that's the case. Yeah, you are live. What's going on? Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, you're live. What's up, dude?
Hi. I'm from Montana over here. My name's Tad.
What's up, dude? How are you?
Hey, I'm good. I'm a huge fan of your show. I'm actually I'm not a huge fan of law enforcement and just order falls in general, but I'm a real fan of your show.
I appreciate that. I hope I do something that you don't approve of, but you appreciate. So thank you.
I absolutely do, and it seems like you definitely have a conscience, and you don't just follow the herd like a lot of these people do. So I commend you for that. But I wanted to ask if you've ever read the book No Treason: The Constitution of No Authority by Lysander Spooner.
I have not. Tell me why I should read it.
The reason is because you kind of alluded to kind of backtracking on the conversation when you're talking about how the minute leftists start to realize that there's no clause in the Second Amendment that says "and use."
Do we think that? I don't mean to interrupt you. Do we think that? Yeah. That it's going to be a leftist issue, or do we think that that's going to be the power? Do you think that Donald Trump, current sitting president, is a Second Amendment? Supporter?
No. I don't. No, not absolutely not. No.
So what better way? What better way to getting the guns out of America? Or it's not getting the guns out; it's control. That's all it is.
Yeah.
And what better way than getting the very people who support it to condemn it?
Right. Yeah. And it's just so amazing. Like you said, you never saw this coming, and neither actually did I. I've never been a partisan person. I've never voted in my life, but I've never thought that this would be happening.
No. So tell me more about that book.
So basically, so since you alluded to that, so how there's no clause in the Second Amendment that says "and use," that kind of reminded me of the book, because the book essentially is essentially a critique on the Constitution. And it talks about how basically we're relying on people to accurately enumerate what each and every one of our rights are and put that on a piece of paper. And then we're basically calling that gospel. And all the while, this whole idea of just some people deciding on what our rights are and are not is just simply asinine, And
it's open to interpretation by those people too, because those people change it.
Exactly. Open to interpretation. It just ends up being this long, telephone game throughout the generations. And then ultimately we end up with no rights, which is exactly where, things are going. So
yeah, I will not be voting anytime soon. I'm like you. The first time I ever voted, I'm 50, I'll be 51 years old in March. And the first election I ever voted was the 2020 presidential election.
Mm-hmm.
And I voted for the midterms that year, and then I voted in 2024. I'm not voting again because I am black-pilled. I do not think it does any damn good. The only reason I voted this last time was it's my father. My father is very much, if you don't vote, you do not get an opinion. And I'm like, all right, well, I want to talk about it, so I'll vote. But at this point, it's my opinion is they all suck.
That's the thing, is that it's exactly the opposite. The truth is exactly the opposite. If you don't take part in this coercive, absolutely immoral system, then nobody can point at you and say, "Hey, it's your fault that these things are happening because you voted this way."
Oh my God, the amount of people who shit, and it's both sides. I am apolitical. I guess it would be apolitical, correct? If I'm the other side. I posted on an ICE video, where I said, I voted for Trump, and I admit I regret my vote. I do not support this. The amount of liberals who attacked me and gave me death threats. You're the blame for this, motherfucker. I'm like, you know what? You sit to piss, you little fucking sea bag. So it's like, and it's just on both sides. Both sides are so brainwashed by their party, they're not able to think for themselves. So it's amazing.
That's exactly right. Yep. Well, I just wanted to recommend that book. Keep doing what you're doing, Dom. I
appreciate it. Is there anything that you want to? I want to give everybody who winds up calling in. Do you do anything? Do you want to support anything? Do you want to endorse anything? Plug anything?
Just simply freedom. And so I'm an anarchist. So I believe in the non-aggression principle and the self-defense principle. And I think that that's ultimately the goal.
Wait a second. Now you can't hang up for a second. Anarchy. Okay. Anarchy. Yeah. You just said non-aggression. Anarchy, that word has always been like, oh, you're the sovereign citizen type. And when I pull up, I better be ready for a gunfight. What is an anarchist?
An anarchist is essentially somebody who doesn't believe in human slavery in any form or fashion, including government.
Are you somebody who, God forbid, you get pulled over and you don't have tags on your car or anything? Are you somebody that law enforcement should be afraid of?
No, I won't engage in any violence, and I love my life, and I don't want my life to end prematurely, so I'll just go along with it. But that doesn't mean that I agree with it, and I don't. Don't tell me anything about where you live or whatever. But we interviewed when I had my political show a long time ago. We interviewed an anarchist who he refused to put license plate on his van, and he would get stopped. So is that how you live as well too? As in what? That I do put license? No, my car has a license plate. No, it does. Oh, okay. So how do you live as an anarchist? I try to maximize the amount of freedom that I have in my life to the extent possible without endangering myself, to an extent that I find unneeded, so I try to live again by the non-aggression principle. I treat people with respect. I try to respect other people's rights, and I also am armed. So like whenever there's a threat somewhere, that I'm ready for it, and I'm ready to protect somebody else, and I'm ready to protect myself. I don't understand why what you just described seems like the best way to live as a human being. How is that like anarchist is so bad? You just described like everything you said. I'm like, I have no problem with anything you just said. Well, it's because throughout the generations, people have been brainwashed into thinking that anarchy is chaos. All you hear whenever people utter the word chaos or, anarchy, they always point to like Antifa members, throwing bricks through windows of Starbucks. And that's the image that they want people to have. They don't want people to have image of like people freely coexisting and trading and not engaging in coercion and all that kind of stuff, because that would be bad for the powers that be. Sadly, I see more Republican conservatives being fascist lately, and it's disturbing beyond words. Right. Yeah, exactly. I appreciate the call, man. Thank you. You're welcome. 708-982-0974, 708-982-0974. It's an exhausting Friday night. I don't want to keep you guys that long. It is, again, the world is going to shit lately, and I think we're all just observing it. Very curious. To be honest, it's like everyone, the Epstein files were dumped on a Friday. Not a fucking thing's going to happen. Monday, you will have forgotten about it. It's very simple with whatever they put in front of you. Real fun J60 834. I'm an anarchist too. Is a not violent, anti-government, anti-cop, anti-politician, anti-mind your own business. Oh, and mind your own business. Be polite and treat others how you want to be treated. I'm fine with that. Grizz, I see you. I don't know if you're on the road or not. Hope you're doing well. I support truckers, absolutely. Grizz, there may be out in the ether. There may be a new episode of the Rants of Izzo show out there on the podcast somewhere, but I'm not advertising it. Tennessee.transparency. Izzo, it's hard to live because we truly are all slaves. There's a part of me that accepts that to a degree, because my slavery status in this country, paying taxes, working, all this stuff, it does allow for others to wind up functioning. And you would have that in any type of, if like California or some other state broke off and you had 50,000 people all living there, if you didn't develop a system
to work, you guys would all die. We're talking about just the basic essentials of eating and drinking water. It literally, if it was, hey, we're not going to do anything, and and we're just going to a nation where we feed each other, and that's it. And you could, as long as the farming got done, the planting got done, whatever, you want to grow your chickens, collecting eggs, and you fed people, that's fine. But at the same time, if you don't exercise some semblance of a system, you're dead. And here's the one problem. This is the one problem that nothing can change. Human nature. Someone always wants something more or different. So you can go to get in some community and say, hey, we're all going to do this. We're all going to be free. For some strange reason, somebody's going to wake up one day and say, you know what? I want more. I want what you have. Then you get this. The human condition will always fuck up a system. Yeah, you driving or what are you doing?
Yeah, I'm driving. I'm in the city of Chicago right now.
Get out of there, dude. Why?
Because I'm stuck. I'm running to the rail yards like I normally do, but my dumb ass woke up and started to run too early. Should have waited a couple hours.
Yeah, didn't you get? It snowed and the roads sucked earlier.
It wasn't that bad. I mean, there was a little bit of white stuff on the roads, but coming down here, it's pretty much worse with all the lake effect stuff.
No, thank you. I hate it. No, I haven't been in the city in like 2 years. Not happening.
Hey, you know what? You're not missing anything. It's still a shithole.
No, that's it. All right, where are you headed to?
I'm actually heading down to the rails, and I got to head back up to Wisconsin.
Cool. About 3 more months, we'll be riding.
Sounds good.
You got to help me change my shocks, though. I got to put new shocks in the back.
Not a problem.
All right, that's it.
Let me know when.
All right, be safe out there.
All right, brother.
Later. That's Grizz. Truck driver. Yeah. All right, kids, listen, it's Friday. Guys, enjoy your Friday. It's as simple as that. There is no roll call on Sunday for the next couple Sundays because of the Super Bowl and football. So spend time with your families and all that kind of stuff. We'll resume the roll call after the football season or Super Bowl. It's like, well, what's the roll call? Roll call we do on Sunday nights where we come together to find out what we want to go ahead and explore for the week and what topics that you want us to cover for Cop Talk Live. CopTalkLive.org is our website. If you want to sponsor and support the show, you can do so by buying my book, Before the Badge, Everything You Need to Know Before You Become a Cop. It's available at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and WordsMatterPublishing.com. You can click the link in the description of any video below for Patreon and become a member. That's how you get to the roll call. And buy me a coffee and become a member. And again, one of the things that I want to be remain is to be sponsor free to a degree. Also, we have a new thing. If you have to submit a tip on what's going on or you have a story about what's going on, go to coptalklive.org. There's a tab up at the bottom header where you could submit your story about law enforcement that you want us to look into and investigate. It's if there's any way I could help, I can help. I will do. Guys, have a great damn night. Be safe. It's Friday night. Go and stop worrying about shit because we're all gonna die anyway someday. Just hopefully peaceful in our bed as very old men who are sleeping next to a young. I'm 89 years old, hot piece of ass. Rachel's getting pissed right now. I'm going to shut the fuck up before I get in trouble later. But that's that.